2026 NFL Draft is officially come and gone. The city of Pittsburgh hosted such a spectacle. When I went down there for days 2 and 3, the city and NFL did a phenomenal job. It was efficient, concise, there was a lot to do, and the tickets were free for general admission. It may not have been the first overall pick in the draft, but for me, I go up to the podium and select SeatGeek, the sponsor of this video, as my choice to secure tickets to events across America. Over 70,000 games, concerts, live shows, anything I desire available at any time on the app. When looking, it sorts all tickets from red to green on a 1 to 10 scale. It offers me a view from where I'll be sitting. Plus, it's all backed by their buyer guarantee. If you're new here, always remember to use the code TREE to save $20 off your first purchase. If it were human, I'd dab up SeatGeek like Adele with every prospect in the green room that gets selected. Speaking of that, let's get on to the real picks, shall we?
With the first pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Fernando Mendoza, quarterback, Indiana.
The Raiders have officially crossed the Mendoza line. Remember when this prospect class was supposed to be loaded with prospects and legends of the future? That imploded on itself in 6 months, and Mendoza was the only one that emerged. He's at least got a high floor, but ceiling? He was more of a game manager in Indiana. But think of the intangibles, man. The endless amounts of dog in him. That run he had in the national championship, they'll be building statues of it throughout the state. The dude and his family are ready to go to Sunday Mass at a moment's notice. Mendoza was built to be a quarterback, and he'll be mentored and bag securing by Kirk Cousins himself. Las Vegas doesn't speak about what almost happened to Max Crosby. Also, don't mention Tyree Wilson either. That'll get you killed in Raider Nation.
The New York Jets select David Bailey, linebacker, Texas Tech.
New York had a simple choice. It was either Bailey or Arvell Reese with his pick. Flip a coin and see where it lands. David Bailey's 2 years older and the safer option, so he's their pick. What can I say? The dude dominated at Texas Tech in 2025, and the Jets' defense was completely pathetic. Plus, Bailey's the fastest edge in this draft. It's pretty damn hard to fuck up the second overall pick. To be fair, the Jets have done so on repeat over the years. If it happens to Bailey, they should just skip the pick next time.
The Arizona Cardinals select Jeremiyah Love, running back, Notre Dame.
Are you fucking kidding me? Arizona has all of these issues throughout their organization. You have screaming holes on the offensive line, on the defense, and more, and you splurge on the fucking Gucci bag of a running back? You're in the NFL equivalent to bankruptcy! James Conner and Trey Benson are coming back. You just fucking signed Tyler Algier! Love's gonna be catching passes from Jacoby goddamn Brissett. And he's holding out! Don't get me wrong, Jeremiyah Love's a hell of a player, a dynamic back that can impact games with one play, but to this team, this high? Do you know how poorly running backs drafted in the top 5 have fared as of late? They've done their best on other teams. On second thought, I know why they're doing this. They're scared shitless of another Amari DiMercato situation. That complete incompetence by him led to a death spiral that destroyed their season. And they're hoping everyone doesn't get hurt and saves Monty Austin-Fort's ass. At least Love's wallet should be secure with over $50 million guaranteed to him off the bat. More than any other active running back. And then add to it by drafting Carson fucking Beck in the 3rd round? No defense until day 3. The Cardinals are an absolutely unserious franchise.
The Tennessee Titans select Carnell Tate, wide receiver, Ohio State.
Carnell Tate, a legendary veteran of that game against Bishop Sycamore. Now that's a story I'm telling with pride to my grandkids. Didn't think Tennessee would go receiver early on, but considering their pass game woes, with how little Cam Ward had to throw to in 2025, there was a time when one of his top options was Van Jefferson. They needed somebody with talent. Tate should create separation and finally give the Titans that elite receiver they've been missing since the great A.J. Brown fuck-up of 2022. I'm simply praying Cam isn't running for his goddamn life again this season. He shouldn't in the Brian Daboll offense, right?
The New York Football Giants select Arvell Reese, linebacker from the Ohio State University.
This dude's already collabing with Reese's to make a badass jacket. That's how you know a man's built for the NFL. I figured the Giants would go with Sonny Styles for their linebacking core, but Reese was the #1 player on their board and they couldn't pass him up. And he should be a shit wrecker. But now New York's got themselves a huge glut at the edge. Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, and now you add Reese to it? Every opposing tackle's gonna fucking die. It's a lot easier to swallow when you've realized Kayvon's woefully underachieved here. Where he goes is anyone's guess. I'd say it's a good problem to have. The Giants need any hope they can get.
The Kansas City Chiefs select Mansour Delane, defensive back, LSU.
Chiefs are overhauling their secondary and desperately needed Mansour to get to them at any cost. Considering they traded up 3 spots to leapfrog the Saints and Commies who could use a corner like Delane, it was a necessary one. It's not just Jalen Watson going in free agency. The prize corner Trent McDuffie was sent packing west to LA. Is it a reach at 6? A touch of one, but once again, Kansas City needed a potential CB1 badly. Maybe Mansour can give more life to Travis Kelce, too. Defying odds, he's coming back for another go. Hopefully he's not super cooked this year.
The Washington Commanders select Sonny Styles, linebacker, Ohio State.
The heir apparent to Bobby Wagner. Washington's defense was a hot fucking mess last season, so they just need pieces to wash away the stench of Joe Witt Jr. Styles is a true field general, an instant shot in the arm for a defense that honestly needs it. Anything to stop the offenses that ran all over them. Sonny will be dressed in some sexy new uniforms in 2026. Tell me you want to be the Redskins again when you're unable to call yourselves the Redskins again. Don't blame them, at least these have some life. Are people really bitching about the spear and the helmets? So is the Chiefs logo problematic now?
The New Orleans Saints select Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State.
It's a situation where the Saints had a lot of needs. They need receivers badly. It's Chris Olave and some insurance salesmen and mechanics over there. And with Olave's concussion history, they needed a big-time weapon to help out. Jordan Tyson will hopefully form the connections needed for such an enterprise. Will Tyler Shuck be the answer they're looking for with Tyson? They're hoping so. With a lot of the old core gone, it's a new era for the Saints. Honestly, the fans are just happy to have hope again.
The Cleveland Browns select Spencer Fano, tackle, Utah.
Offensive line in Cleveland. Considering most of their line is either gone or frequently injured, and gone, it's needed like a man in the desert needs water. Fortunately, the Browns had their pick of whomever they desired. Spencer Fano's a damn good tackle who was the best on their board, so he's their selection. But who will he block for in 2026? That's the mystery to us all. Maybe it'll be Pro Bowler Shedeur Sanders. Or maybe Deshaun Roethlisberger. Seriously, Watson in 2026? And it's realistic? Such a Cleveland thing to experience.
The New York Giants select Francis Mauigoa, tackle, Miami.
Interesting, I figured they'd roll with Caleb Downs at this spot, but offensive line was a need for them too. And Mauigoa should solidify the right tackle or right guard slot for a while to come. Then again, we said this about Evan Neal, and look how well he flopped. Seriously, how the hell did he bust as hard as he did? Wait, you're wondering how the Giants got number 10 overall as well? Sit on down and I'll tell you about Sexy Dexy. He wanted out. Lawrence requested a trade weeks ago and finally got his wish of freedom. The Bengals needed defense of any sort badly and went for the proven commodity for a rich price. But only extending him for 1 year after the fact? Since he's gonna run into the same damn issues next offseason if he does well. Thank God it's not the team I'm rooting for.
The Dallas Cowboys select Caleb Downs, defensive back, Ohio State.
Of course Caleb Downs falls to Dallas. Of course they get the perfect match for them and their needs. Everyone knows about the Flus Goose and the god-awful Cowboys defense. They gave up over 400 yards passing to Russell fucking Wilson. It needed to be addressed. Moving up one spot by trading a few day 3 picks to get the guy they want? That's honestly respectable work. Downs is looked at as the most likely to have a gold jacket in this class. That doesn't matter though. Dem boys just need someone who can defend a damn pass. Downs can do that, he's good here. He'll probably be more than that, but time will tell.
The Miami Dolphins select Kaden Proctor, tackle, Alabama.
Open wide, my friends. The proctologist is headed down to Miami. We kinda need one considering they're blowing this shit up sky high. Just look at all that dead cap. It was necessary, but good lord. Somebody's gotta block for Malik Willis in this new age, though. And that's what the Dolphins are hoping Proctor will be. Green Bay loves to build through the trenches, and they brought in plenty of guys from that brain trust. Although when Caden's old coach Nick Saban's throwing shade at him on national television, there may be some doubters. Wonder if he'll eat shit if he pans out.
The Los Angeles Rams select Ty Simpson, quarterback, Alabama.
Are you fucking kidding me? Les Snead was known for saying fuck them picks, but investing this high of a pick as a championship contender on a massive reach and developmental project? Ty Simpson fell apart last season. He was maligned at Bama to hell and back. So you're making stupid decisions like Atlanta does because you have their pick? Yeah, Stafford's long in the tooth, but the dude just won an MVP. What's Simpson gonna be walking into when Matt eventually retires? Devontae's probably gone. Puka Nacua may run himself off the team. The O-line will be drastically different. Sean McVay wasn't exactly happy with the selection in his presser, and he may move on to newer pastures too. But that was probably before they tortured him into submission. It's extreme boldness and arrogance in the same boat. They want their heir apparent like the Packers did with Jordan Love, but at 13? For a guy with only 15 career college starts to his name? Snead and the Rams didn't need to buy time for his job. They were special teams away from making the goddamn Super Bowl. If his tools don't pan out at this level, the James Pierce Jr. trade would have been for nothing. Wait, JPJ's not facing charges for nearly killing a woman? Life's good when you're good at football.
The Baltimore Ravens select Olaivavega Ioane, guard, Penn State.
Ioane may be a phenomenal guard, but Baltimore's celebrating the greatest victory of the draft. No more Daniel Faalele. His god-awful guard play, terrible technique, and eternal project status is no more in Charm City. He's the Giants' problem now. If he's in the lineup, have fun over there. Ioane fills severe need as well, with Linderbaum being let go of due to the insane cap he'd have had if they kept him. This is why they backed out of their deal for Max Crosby. They had way too many holes to fill that a premium edge rusher alone couldn't fix. It can't be worse than last year was for the Ravens, right? Although if the owner's meddling in the draft process... at least it's only a 5th-round pick.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Rueben Bain Jr., linebacker, Miami.
Rueben Bain got to experience the Jalen Carter simulator in this draft over the past month. A phenomenal talent docked with more than a few demerits in the scrupulous pre-draft process. Look at those T-Rex arm scouts cry into the ether. Those chicken wings will be exposed by offensive linemen throughout the NFL. And then you get into the accident that happened a couple of years ago where a passenger in the car he was driving died a few days after. Those two things alone turned him from a top 5, top 10 talent into a Randy Moss-style slide down the draft board. Not as sharp as Moss, but I'd say having Randy's career wouldn't be a bad outcome in the end. He does get to stay in Florida, other side of the state, but still should make an immediate impact. Tampa Bay needs good edge rushers bad. It's a perfect fit. Just ask Jalen Carter how his fall was a blessing in disguise.
The New York Jets select Kenyon Sadiq, tight end, Oregon.
Tight end over wideout at this stage? Interesting. To be fair, the Jets have their options at receiver later down the board. Kenyon Sadiq is the test of talent versus production. He fits the mold of the modern tight end in his pre-draft workouts and many a men ogle. Yet Kenyon was hesitant at first. He thought the Jets calling was an honest-to-God prank. Maybe the Jets are the prank itself. That's the mystery of the dance, including the glorious upside he holds. Then there's the old-school side. He didn't really produce all that much in college for his pedigree. I hear the uninformed comparisons to Kyle Brady now, but that's just unfair. He's a hell of a lot more athletic and dynamic.
The Detroit Lions select Blake Miller, tackle, Clemson.
This move screams one thing. Taylor Decker's played his last game in Detroit. Blake Miller's been honing his craft at right tackle for a few years, so Penei Sewell will be making the journey to blindside blocker, where he'll probably dominate like he has on the right side. The Lions have thrived on having an elite O-line in the Dan Campbell era, and Blake should fit right in creating holes for Sonic and... They cut Knuckles? I don't care if it was probably necessary. Such a travesty should be punishable by death.
The Minnesota Vikings select Caleb Banks, defensive end, Florida.
Wait a second. They didn't take Dillon Thieneman here? It was a perfect match for the Flores system and its needs. Are they sure Harrison Smith's coming back? At 37? Did Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah really get fired? Because taking a consensus second-round pick when no other interior defensive linemen were selected to this point is most certainly a choice. The dude was consistently hurt in college. That's usually a huge red flag in the future. Raw tools and skill, but it feels like the Vikings flat out overthought the pick to fill another need. They did lose pieces at defensive tackle, but couldn't they have had this in the second round? Shit, Banks may have fallen that far anyway. Oh, well, we'll only find out the truth about this pick once he plays games.
The Carolina Panthers select Monroe Freeling, tackle, Georgia.
Protect Bryce Young. That's the name of the game. Right tackle is a gaping hole that needs some permanent plaster and drywall to fix up for the coming campaigns. Monroe Freeling should do just the trick in that regard. They did pass up on some damn good talent for this pick, but offensive line isn't the sexy option that gets the average fan hard in the morning. It does for us degenerates, but this is a pretty obscure fetish. At the end of the day, if Monroe lasts for a decade in Carolina, nobody's complaining about this one.
The Philadelphia Eagles select Makai Lemon, wide receiver, USC.
There were a shitload of Eagles fans on Twitter screaming that A.J. Brown was going nowhere this offseason. The rumors about him leaving were far-fetched, they cried. Yet everyone with a brain knew he was gone the moment he dropped those passes against the Niners. Will he be with the Patriots or somewhere else? Who knows, but Makai Lemon should dominate in this Eagles offense. If the stench of Kevin Patullo doesn't remain next season, and if his supposed character issues are quite exaggerated, to secure the next great Eagles receiver, Howie Roseman did a Howie Roseman again. Finding his perfect target that fell down the board further than expected, made a little deal with the Cowboys and moved up to swoop their prey from an unsuspecting franchise. Somehow not the first time this has happened with a wide receiver prospect. Worked out well for them the last time it happened. Afterward, the Eagles swooped in and took Jonathan Grenard from Minnesota for 2 third-rounders. Then gave him a new contract with $50 million guaranteed. And we all died in unison.
The Pittsburgh Steelers select Max Fautanu, tackle, Arizona State.
They played Renegade before this pick was made. In honor of being cucked by the Eagles for Lemon when they were on the fucking phone with him, the sour reality of disappointment is their reward. Honestly fits for how the team falls to shit immediately after its plate is plate. Instead, the Steelers scrambled and picked their second option out of sequence. Hey, not your selection screams one thing. Roderick Jones' injury is far more serious than once believed. Honestly, with what they're saying, he may never play again. So that's how you draft 3 offensive tackles in the first round in 3 years. I don't have a problem with Max himself, but having Philly do that to you when you're hosting the draft? Come on, the Pens are already getting belt to ass by the Flyers. They don't need any more arrogance. But it somehow gets worse. They're still waiting on a 42-year-old cancer to make his goddamn decision to return when he's nowhere worth such a wait. Otherwise, it's Mason Rudolph, our answer to Shedeur Sanders, or Drew Aller? He fucking sucked at Penn State, and Nittany Lions fans couldn't wait for him to leave. His family has season tickets to the Browns! Guess that's what I get for mocking the Ty Simpson pick.
The Los Angeles Chargers select Hakeem Meador, linebacker, Miami.
So the Chargers' interior O-line was a hot fucking mess last season, full of pieces that are either gone or exiled to retirement, and you don't draft one in the first round? To be fair, they picked one in the second, but still. Hakeem Meador's lining up to eventually replace Khalil Mack as the leader of the defensive line. A true edge with the ability to wreck offenses at a moment's notice. Issue is the dude's now at an age that Leonardo DiCaprio would scoff at. And he didn't break out until his 6th year of college. There isn't much juice left to squeeze in his developmental cycle. Maybe he just dominates from the get-go. The Chargers would certainly like that.
The Dallas Cowboys select Malachi Lawrence, defensive end, University of Central Florida.
Scooter Magruder's a clairvoyant mind. He said the Cowboys would pick Malachi Lawrence, and by God, they picked him. To be fair, Dallas really didn't hide their love for him before the draft. It wasn't exactly rocket science, but I'll give credit where credit's due. The man they're hoping will make Cowboys fans forget all about Micah Parsons. An edge rusher in the flesh that's very good at stopping the run. Exactly what Jerry Boy desires above all else. Dallas making wise picks to fill dire needs? So how's Jerry gonna mess this up in the end? And it somehow isn't trading a 4th-round pick for Rashawn Gary. I mean, the Packers were probably gonna cut him anyway.
The Cleveland Browns select KC Concepcion, wide receiver, Texas A&M.
Browns came into the first round with 2 primary needs. Pick an offensive tackle and a wide receiver. Concepcion definitely checks off the second box. Although for a team with stone hands to pick a receiver maligned for dropping the ball, I'm overthinking it. KC's got that twitchy elusiveness and breakaway speed. He wrote a letter to teams saying he was the best receiver in the draft, you know. That kind of confidence is infectious. Better yet, the powerful Denzel Boston fell in their damn laps in the second round. These young stalwarts will be hopefully catching passes from whomever starting in Cleveland. As a rival, I'm still hoping for the withered husk of Deshaun Watson. Considering their QB room, it's a serious possibility.
The Chicago Bears select Dillon Thieneman, defensive back, Oregon.
Minnesota's oversight is Chicago's rebound relationship. It's obvious to anyone the Bears need serious help at safety. All those turnovers mask the fact that they gave up passing yards en masse last year. So suddenly Dillon Thieneman lands in their lap? Fine, they'll take him and embrace his repeated torturing of Vikings fans for a decade. Optimally, he and Kobe Bryant should reforge that secondary and give them the boost they need. And if they work out together, that whole North might be eating shit.
The Houston Texans select Keylan Rutledge, guard, Georgia Tech.
Have you seen how god-awful the Texans' O-line's been over the last couple of years? That franchise will take anyone that can block a defender with how much of a mess it's been. Rutledge is one of the better O-linemen still on the board. Just take what you need and move on. A few teams could have learned from that this year, you know. Now, if Houston can find a way to fix C.J. Stroud, different question entirely. But a better O-line would help.
The Miami Dolphins select Chris Johnson, defensive back, San Diego State.
The 49ers were eager to trade down from this spot and gather later picks, so Miami will make the jump for a strong corner prospect. Once again, the Dolphins' needs are pretty much everything. They need bodies, especially young and supple ones so badly they get put on a list for it. Chris Johnson, like a certain legendary running back of old, has speed to burn. Kind of stuff that can rival some of the best receivers in the league. Hope you're ready for the NFL, Chris. You're gonna be chucked into the fire. Burn to ash or rise like a phoenix.
The New England Patriots select Caleb Lomu, tackle, Utah.
Caleb Lomu was obviously the biggest thing that happened with the Patriots this week. Drama? What the hell are you talking about? This pick screams they saw their tackles get whipped and mauled by the dark side and need to fix it right away. Or do you think they got aggressive and traded up? Tackles are going off the board left and right. Does Lomu replace Will Campbell's disaster showing amplified by injury? Or on the right side where it's the aging Morgan Moses holding the fort? Lomu may sit for a year to develop and figure out what to do with Campbell, but I'm not worried at all about Caleb. This man's wearing jorts! He'll be damn good for a long time, but he's no Jennings Dunker. Look at this man. The mullet, the mustache, the name Jennings from Iowa. Future Gold Jacket. Sorry, I don't make the rules.
The Kansas City Chiefs select Peter Woods, defensive tackle, Clemson.
The Chiefs need to prepare for the future. Travis Kelce isn't the only one with retirement concerns. Chris Jones is getting up there in age as well. With the pick acquired for shipping off Trent McDuffie, they go with more help in a future stalwart of their defensive line. But for a dude that only had 2 sacks last season, though? Maybe I'm thinking too much on it. If Spagnuolo can mold Woods into a shit wrecker, we won't have to worry about that lack of production whatsoever. He's either going to be really good or flame out by year 4. No exceptions.
The New York Jets select Omar Cooper Jr., wide receiver, Indiana.
San Francisco traded down again and drafted a good deal of reaches by using the power of AI. The Jets will gladly take that opportunity to pick more name-brand goodness. Look at that catch Omar Cooper made against Penn State. That alone made him a first-round pick. Like, holy fucking shit, that's a catch in the NFL. He's gonna do that alongside Garrett Wilson. For as long as he's still a Jet. Competently filling needs and hopefully developing them enough to have all these picks not blow up in their damn face. And Omar catching passes thrown by the legendary Geno Smith. He's the savior. He's gonna lead him to the promised land. This promised land's probably Arch Manning.
The Tennessee Titans select Keldrick Faulk, defensive end, Auburn.
Buffalo traded down 3 times in the first round? Didn't Brandon Beane learn from what happened with Keon Coleman a few years ago? Wait, Keon's still on the Bills after ownership chucked him under a train in January? Very well then, the Titans move up into the first round again and same principles applies as it did for Miami. They just need pretty much everything. Throw a dart in a billboard and see where it lands. Oh look, it just hit Keldrick Faulk. He had a down year after his 2024 breakout though, so they're hoping the athletic traits break through in the end. If there's anybody who makes this guy a solid contributor, it's Robert Saleh. And if there's any hope for Faulk, this organization's Peter Baelish has been snuffed out. Chet Brinker stepping down after years of somehow winning power struggles. Today is a good day in Tennessee indeed.
The Seattle Seahawks select Jadarian Price, Notre Dame, running back.
To end the night, we have the Super Bowl champion Seahawks. Despite wanting to trade down, they figured they might as well make the pick and secure that sweet, succulent 5th-year option. Seattle, you get to pay the exorbitant ring tax. Most of your depth pieces and impending free agents are off to destinations across the league for premium paydays and bounties alike. This includes Super Bowl MVP K9. The Chiefs paid him a hefty sum to patch up their gigantic pothole at running back. The Seahawks love them a 2-headed running back tandem, and Jadarian Price is the second best runner on the board. Welcome to a champion, sir. He's already used to this kind of timeshare. Jeremiyah Love was at Notre Dame with him. Price and Zach Charbonnet forging a new age in the post-ring Seattle world. That concludes the first round of the 2026 NFL Draft. With over 800,000 people attending, Pittsburgh showcased its mid-sized beauty as a city while getting humiliated in the sports realm by insufferable Big Brother to the east. Sadly, nowhere close to the first time that's happened as of late. But the real winner for Pittsburgh in the end, the Fields.
And he is from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and he has his terrible towel, and the fans are going nuts. Let's take this moment live on NFL Network.